Alright, so what is good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. It's so weird, it feels like it's been forever since I've said that, but really, it's only been about a week. So anyway, because it's felt like such a long time, there's a couple of things I feel I need to say real quick. For those of you that want to get right to the point, don't worry, timestamps are right down below. So clearly at this point in time, I've long but finished my playthrough of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I did so for the first time during my live stream of my Nuzlocke playthrough. I wanted to give a big thank you to everybody that came out to those. I had so much fun doing those streams. I love being able to chit chat with you guys about Pokemon things, about other things, just actually get to know a couple of you guys a little bit more on a personal level, and it was so much fun and I enjoyed it tons. We're going to be doing plenty more streams just like that down the line. I'm really looking forward to maybe doing some kind of shiny hunting streams, maybe some other challenge runs with more people with me down the line. We'll see what happens, but I just hope that you guys know that I appreciate you from the bottom of my damn heart. Thank you guys for coming out. It's a lot of fun. I want to do more like that. We'll have to see how it happens with Pokemon Legends because I'll be completely honest with y'all, I have absolutely no impulse control. And being able to only stream from about 10 o'clock to maybe 2 in the morning or something like that, which is very late for a lot of you guys, I'm understanding now, is kind of crazy. So we'll have to see what Pokemon Legends brings to us when the time comes. When it comes to games, I definitely have a problem, and I can admit that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's talk about something else really quick. Just the other day, I put out a community tab post asking you guys what your opinion is on the game so far. We've had it for about a week, and I'm sure that everybody's formed their own unique opinions by now. I think that we are long overdue for a response video talking about your guys' opinions on the remakes so far. So this is just a big heads up for those of you that haven't seen it already. The community tab post is up, so make sure that you get your opinions over there so you don't miss your chance to talk or complain about the game so far. I want to hear what you guys think. Now, just a heads up, this right here is not the official review for the game by any means. The official review will probably make its way to you guys maybe within the next week or so. Just give me a little time to really formulate all my thoughts and all the footage, and then we can get right into things. So if this isn't the review, then what the hell are you making right now, Soul? Well, let me tell you what I'm thinking. Once upon a time at the very beginning of 2021, I posted a video talking about my fears when it came to Gen 4 remakes. That's probably the video where a good majority of you guys found me from, because I jumped up quite a couple thousand subscribers from that. Thank you guys, by the way. That video was made before we even knew of the existence of the Gen 4 remakes. At that point, we were just consistently speculating that we were gonna get Gen 4 remakes. There was really no pattern to follow up from, we just kind of assumed that they had to be on their way. And we were just right. Or hell, maybe it was just a lucky guess, I don't know. Point is, the Gen 4 remakes are here now. So, since it's damn near the end of the year now, what with it being December at the time of this video, I thought it would be appropriate to kind of come full circle and look at that video and see if I was justified in being fearful for the Gen 4 remakes. Miraculously, I did not delete my old notes from when I first created that video, so I managed to pull my old notes up, I watched through the video a little bit, and I formulated a type of response to it. So now that I'm just chilling in the post-game section of the very games that I guess feared back in the day, why don't we take a look and see if I was justified? Why don't we start by talking what I was so quote-unquote afraid of? According to my notes here and a little bit of the video, it seems I was very scared of quote-unquote reused assets. Now I know for certain that when I said that, in particular I was referring to the animations that they used for both Pokemon and some of the trainers, like the rival. When I first thought of the concept of Gen 4 remakes, I just imagined how easy it would be for them to slap that same cursed rival animation that they've been using for the last like 3 games. Now in the grand scheme of things, I know damn well that that's a very minute thing to be alarmed about, but to be fair, it is a very cursed animation, and that would just kind of prove how lazy Game Freak or Pokemon Company would be in this situation. But again, that was before I knew it was being completely handled by Ilka. So again, I had no idea what was coming. And apparently there was nothing to worry about with that. Now moving into the grand scheme of things, I was definitely also worried about the animations for the Pokemon. I guess at the time I was just really hoping that with the obvious success of Pokemon Sword and Shield, they would realize that they didn't need to worry about too much when it came to putting out games on the yearly and maybe giving some of these Pokemon the animations that they deserve and not these weird dragon or flying type Pokemon being completely stiff in the air for an entire battle. It was really weird, and that irritated me for a long time. After about a year or so of doing nothing but research and Pokemon related content, I think I've just naturally become more lenient about that type of thing. Going into Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the last thing that I was thinking of was the Pokemon's animations. I don't know why back in the day I would think that I would pay any attention to that. The animations are okay. They're not the greatest, but they're okay. They get the job done. That's the point. I have said once before that I would still prefer if they were to use newer animations and maybe update them a little bit, because there are some Pokemon that are just straight up ruined for me because of how ugly they look on the field. Electros? Goodness. But whatever, I can kind of look past it. None of my personal favorites have been eviscerated in the animation department, so I'll live, I think. So when it comes to my current thoughts on the quote-unquote reused assets, it kind of just boils down to, it is what it is. Pokemon, for the most part, is always going to feel the same. It's a turn-based RPG where you pick a move, you get hit by a move, yada yada yada. Animations are most likely going to be as simple as they need to be to help get the point across, and quite honestly, as frustrating as it's going to be, there's not a lot that we as individuals can really change about that. As technology improves, the games kind of have to, at least a little bit. So all I can hope for down the line with Pokemon Legends or Generation 9 is that we can get some decent looking newer models and animations for a couple of Pokemon, for the trainers especially, just a little bit better. In this very particular case, the assets were reused in a way that I can live with. So what's done is done. Moving along here, the next thing that I was apparently really terrified of was the idea that they would break what we know of the Sinnoh region to really turn these remakes into 4th/8th gen remakes. Now to be more specific, I believe that at the time I was specifically referring to Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing being forced into the 4th gen remakes. I just kind of figured that A, they would probably open up some crazy big ass area in the Sinnoh region that probably shouldn't exist or something, or B, that they would give us Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing when they specifically told us in the story of Sword and Shield that it only happens in the Galar region, which would mean they would be kind of shooting themselves in the foot and retconning that. I just kind of figured that since they went out of their way to create an entirely different timeline to make the 3rd gen remakes, I kind of figured a similar situation would happen with the 4th gen remakes. And yet, they completely managed to refrain from that. Based on the little bit of knowledge that I even have about that, I'm assuming that we're still sitting on that exact same timeline that we were when we entered 3rd gen remakes, but I really can't say for sure. All I know is that instead of busting up the Sinnoh region to make room for this new shiny mechanic that we felt that they had to put into every new game going forward, they didn't give us any gimmicks at all. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is completely debatable. That's totally up to your opinion personally. Me personally, I'm totally fine with it, but you may disagree with that. This game was insanely faithful, like almost unnecessarily so. But they didn't destroy the region unnecessarily, and you know what? I'm totally fine with that. If we had on the off chance gotten Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing for whatever reason in this region, it would have been weird, but I'm sure a lot of us would have just dealt with it anyway, because be honest, that's what you spent most of your time on in Sword and Shield anyway. While it wouldn't have worked here, whatever. It would have happened and we would have just played it anyway. The next big thing that I was apparently in dire fear of was the idea that they were going to completely take away the challenge of the game. Over the course of last year, everybody was in debate about that one. Pokemon was never really hard. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl was never truly that much of a challenge like you think it was. You were just a dumb kid that didn't know your type matchups. And then we had each other questioning ourselves, like, was it really not that bad? Was it really not as hard as we remember it to be? Did we just get that good at Pokemon games that we'd be able to slaughter Cynthia? Let me tell you something right now. I was in fear for my life the moment I started to set foot near the Pokemon League. I got warnings from you guys. I got warnings from friends. It was across the globe. Everybody was saying they were getting their crap rocked, pushed back into their booties, because Cynthia was an absolute menace. Before ending off the stream, before my final stream, I saw a message that put the fear of God into me. Every single Pokemon was holding a held item ready to rock my clock. So the minute I turned off that stream, I grinded for 2 days straight. And even then, just the Elite Four alone was completely menacing. If I wasn't careful, I would have lost my Nuzlocke then and there. Do you hear what I'm saying? I had to overtrain my Pokemon just to get by. Let me tell you something right now, past me, there is nothing to worry about, big dog. The challenge is coming your way. Cause jeez. I did a practice run on a different account and got absolutely mollywopped, and I was happy. I was happy about it. Call me sick, but thank goodness there was actual challenge. That was most likely the hardest challenge I've ever had with the Elite Four to the champion. And I'm now knowledgeable on Pokemon way better than I was before. I'm happy. And the craziest part is I haven't even done the rematches yet. I'm in for an absolute walloping. Now, I will admit the game does a very bad job of preparing you for that because a majority of the rest of the game is an absolute breeze. We flew through that with no problem. But that Elite Four, it really pushes you. It says, hey, you're getting ready to step out into some real stuff with the online battles and the battle tower and things like that. You really need to get a handle on your strategy. So guess what? We're gonna test that out right this second. So get your booty ready. I just have to say thank you, Ilka, for not only accommodating for the newcomers anymore. Y'all got us on edge, and we love that. So just as a heads up for anybody that's new and just going into the Elite Four to the champion, whatever level your Pokemon are now, I raise that by like 20. Now, the last thing that I was kind of afraid of was the idea that they might actually end up changing the story for whatever reason. I'll be completely honest here, I'm not entirely sure where I was going with that idea. We have never had a set of remakes that were completely destroyed story-wise because they were remakes. They've always been, through and through, pretty much the same as their predecessors. I can only assume that idea there stemmed also from the idea that we were getting Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, because that is a much wider range of change than just getting Mega Evolution like Gen 3 did. I guess I somehow also got the idea that they might actually accommodate even more for newcomers and somehow make the story even simpler. I want to sock past me because that makes literally no sense. Now again, this very much plays into what I was talking about earlier, but it's really debatable as to whether or not the no change is a good or bad thing. That completely depends on you. But there's one thing that we can definitely not argue about as a unit, and that is the fact that it wasn't ruined because the story wasn't changed at all. So there's that. 4th gen story was through and through pretty fire. There was really nothing that they needed to change about it. They could have absolutely made things better, but that really applies to any Pokemon game. Any Pokemon game story could stand to be better. But then we get to 5th gen and that's kind of debatable. But then we go right back to 6th gen and it's a fight all over again. So whatever the case may be, I'll take what I can get when it comes to 4th gen story being left right alone because I loved it. And that's what we got again. So good times. Good times. So here's the crazy thing, that just about does it for this video actually. I know that this one was short, but looking back on that other video, I didn't really have all that much to talk about. I was a little nervous when it came to the 4th gen remakes and my thoughts weren't really organized, so they were a little all over the place. But through and through, my fears weren't really all that justified and the outcome was a lot better than I probably even expected, honestly. So hey, we got what we got and I can live with it. So whatever the case may be, we'll get my full thoughts on every nook and cranny when it comes to the games very, very soon. But remember, I want to get your guys' opinions on everything first. So, for anybody that didn't hear me the first time around, I'm going to remind y'all, go to the community tab, get your opinion in there, and let's talk about it in an upcoming video very soon. Because we still got a lot to cover when it comes to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, right up into Legends. So let's do that. But either way, I think that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. I want to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment and consider subscribing for more content just like this. And with that, I'm gonna skedaddle on out of here. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!